All right, what's good, team? Evan here for Grips.com, ready to dive into this review of the summer from the World Series of Poker this year in Las Vegas. And let me begin by talking about why the World Series of Poker is so awesome for me. So I don't know if any of you who are watching this ever went to summer camp. Especially kind of like overnight camp where you spend, an extended period of time there. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's 2 weeks, maybe it's a month, maybe it's the whole summer. I don't know what you did, but I did 1 month summer camp. And summer camp was really exciting because, once a year, I would get to see people who I hadn't seen for a whole year, and they'd be some people who I have really good relationships, really gotten along with the previous summers, and we would get to do fun stuff the entire summer long. So for the entire time, I get to be with my favorite people or some very awesome people, and I get to be doing some of my favorite things the entire time. Like for me, we had canoeing, rock climbing, sailing. What else? We had crafts. We had gun shooting, archery, biology. We go like swamp mucking, all this fun stuff that we did at camp. And it was really cool because it brought people together to have all these different experiences that we had together. Because the more experiences we have together, the stronger our friendships grow. And that's kind of what the World Series of Poker is for me, and I think a lot of my friends see it that way too. It's kind of our summer camp where after being apart for 10 months, 11 months, doing whatever it is we each had to do, we get to come together, do one of our favorite things as a group together. And the great thing about the World Series of Poker is that it's not just the poker players who come together, it's the entire poker world. You got the players, you got the media, you got the fans, you got the friends, because the people who are players are like, dude, you got to see the World Series of Poker. Like, this thing it's so cool. Like, you got to check it out. Then you have, the high rollers, you have the fish who come because the games are good and you get more pros. Basically, everyone floods to Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker, so it's a pretty big deal. Now, what happened for me this summer and why it was so rewarding were, the following 5 things. First one was that I got a lot of intellectual growth and satisfaction out of the experience. I had the opportunity to learn a lot from some of the old guard like Greg Merson, Tony Gregg, Randy Liu. I also got to learn a lot from the up-and-comers. I got to meet Ben Heath and Charlie Carroll again and spend a lot more than just one night with them, which is what we got to do at the PCA. And I also got to see a lot of, what not to do from a lot of the people that I saw perusing the Rio hallways and things like that. Turns out I got to learn from some of the even older guard as well, but I'm going to talk about that in another video. So that was really cool, getting to learn from kind of the old school, the new school, the super old school, and the dropout of school groups. And that was very helpful for my emotional growth, my growth as a player, and my growth as a person. But I thought that that's what it was all about when I went down there, and I realized that actually it wasn't just about the intellectual growth. It was actually much more about the emotional support. Because the reason that I love the World Series of Poker so much is because I've had so many good times with so many of my friends, and getting to be there with everyone allowed me to be around my favorite people, just have fun with them, and also get to be around people who took care of me. This summer, the Team Grips trainers like Ashley Hawley, Tomasz Bajorek, Bag Van Kalsa, and Dr. Tricia Cardner, they basically acted as my parents to help get me through what at points was a tough time. I felt like, I was going to school, learning lessons, coming home. Sometimes all of a sudden the parents would be like, it's okay. And they'd help me through it. So that was really nice to have and feel that, everything was okay, that I was supported. Because the World Series of Poker is a tough grind. Yeah, it's very tough. And thinking back to 2008, because at the start of the trip I had kind of like an epiphany. And I was like, why do I love coming here so much? Because, I don't love grinding tournaments out all the time, so what is it? And I thought back to 2008, which was the first year I ever went to the World Series of Poker. And we had a house that wasn't even, that close to the Strip. It was probably a solid 30-minute drive. But the group of 4 of us that went there just had so much fun. We only played probably 4 World Series events each the entire summer. and fortunately they went very well. But we had so much fun just like hanging out at the house, going out and partying, going out and seeing what the town had to offer, seeing shows, just having new experiences, having barbecues, just hanging out, just being together around good people. And I realized that in the past 8 years that I've gone, the summers that I was very thankful for and very happy with were typically the ones where I spent a lot of time with the people that I care about. And the summers that weren't so, rewarding or enjoyable were the ones where usually I just went down there and did nothing but grind the entire time and just burnt myself out, dug myself into a hole, what have you. So that's what it's really all about when I look back. It's about getting together and being with my favorite people in a cool place. Obviously, playing the game I love whenever I wanted to was a fantastic thing, a fantastic opportunity to have. But I actually didn't play that much. I played probably 10 events before the main event, many of which were very short-lived. And then I played the main event. And actually what happened a lot when I was playing was I got an opportunity to reflect on kind of like, where I'm at in my life, in my path, in my career, with this game, what I love about it, what I'm kind of sick of and tired of. And I really got to learn a lot about it. And those experiences on the table were what allowed me to realize again that real joy wasn't about just being here playing poker. It was about being there with my favorite people. And we happen to play poker. That's the activity that brings us together. But the important thing is being with, each other. The other thing that was really nice that happened was sharing my insights with those who could benefit, who were interested in, kind of what I've been researching, what I've been working on, the tactics, techniques I've been applying to my life to make my life more happy, more balanced, more full of energy, more full of passion. And getting to share that with the people who were open, curious, wanting, and ready for it was where definitely the most magic happened. But again, I will talk about that more in another video because I have a lot to say about that. So that's kind of the gist of the experience, why the World Series of Poker is so awesome. It's the summer camp where we all come together, favorite people, favorite things. And it turns out there's a lot more to do than just poker there. And now having seen what else is out there in Vegas and having been there for like getting close to 10 years now, if you guys have questions, I can let you know what some cool things to do other than playing poker are when you make it down for the World Series of Poker. So let's talk about why it was so awesome. Definitely, there was tons of stimulation. There was always something to do. It actually got to the point where I was doing too much and I was not taking enough time to rest, so I got burnt out and had to slack on my duties a little bit. But it was still cool that there's always something going on, and that's kind of the beauty of a place like Las Vegas, and actually almost any big city, is that if you want to do something, trust me, you can find something to do, and there will be people who are down to do it with you. It was great to work, play, laugh with my favorite people and learn from my favorite people. And I also got to make some new friends out there, which it's always exciting to go out to a new place. You aren't necessarily sure how it's all going to shake down, and then come home with new friendships and therefore new opportunities and new possibilities. And the people that I met down there that I hadn't met prior to this trip were absolutely magical. So such amazing people. I can't wait to work with them and actually introduce them to you guys, because a few of them will probably be joining up with Team Grips in the near future. Fingers crossed. But yeah, the reason it was the most awesome was definitely that feeling of community, that feeling of togetherness. Because there's not much cooler than people working together on a common goal. And especially one that goes beyond their personal aspirations. And I think the culmination of this, when I really got to see kind of how the vision all played out and what the possibility is and what the magic is, was when Ben was making his final table run in the 3K6 Max, and you had all the trainers there on the rail just watching there, supporting him, being like, yo, Ben, if you need anything on break, we got you. You need some food, we got you. You need a stretch, we got you. You need something to help you calm down? Don't worry, we got you. And he told us that it really made a big difference knowing that he had support there and that he wasn't alone in his endeavor, in his mission. And I think that really helped carry him through to the final table where he got, I think it was 6th place for around 70K. But that in itself is a whole video, so we will talk about that in another video. All right, let's roll it forward. The biggest thing, my key takeaway that I learned on this particular World Series of Poker is that the most important thing in life beyond who you are as a person is who you surround yourself with. Because it's only natural that you will become like the people you surround yourself with. We humans are creatures of imitation. We're always looking for signs as to how to act, and then based on what's around us, we would assume that's the natural way that we should be acting. That's what we learned since we were babies, and we're just trying to figure out the world. So pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself with, and take the time to ask yourself if your core values, what's really important to you and what your deepest desires are, if they align with the people you look up to and the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Or are you attracted to them for other reasons? For maybe their success or their outward appearance in the world. External surface reasons that you may be attracted to them that don't really go down to the roots. Because what you will typically catch from spending time with people is really more what they're about deep down. And unless you are extremely secure and firm in what you are very kind of susceptible to picking up what's around you, so be selective who you surround yourself with. Now that being said, if you are extremely strong, grounded, rooted, secure, and sure of who you are, you will be less susceptible to kind of the influences and the energies of the other people around you. But it still makes a difference. If you're around people you love to be around who are in line with, your vision, your goals, your aspirations, things like that, every chit-chat, every conversation is going to be a better conversation, a more uplifting conversation, a more enjoyable conversation. And you get to choose who you surround yourself with. It may not be the case when you're just born and you're like 2 years old and you have your family and then, eventually get to pick your friends. But as you get older, you do choose who you're going to be surrounded with. And it's up to you to actively be deciding, okay, is this a group that I like, or is it time to make a change? And just be constantly evolving with that so you can constantly evolve as a person. Remember, you should surround yourself with people who inspire you and uplift you every day. It gives you a reason to get out of bed, to, go out there, get stacking. So that's what I learned. Is like, it's not, the old saying, like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I would take it to another level. It's not what you do, but it's who you're doing it with that will give you the most satisfaction and, happiness out of life. So if you're interested in doing something similar, here is an action step that you can put into place so that you can do the same. So step 1 would be make a list of the 5 people you interact with the most, and ask, why do you spend so much time with these people? Is it purely because of circumstances, because they just happen to be your next door neighbor or they're your classmate, or is the primary reason because they're someone that you want in your life? If the answer is the first, that might not necessarily be someone you need in your inner circle, in your My 5. But if the answer is the second, then you're on the right track. You're doing the right things. Next step would be to make a list of 3 people you think you'd like to see on a regular basis. They can be people you actually know in real life. They can be celebrities. They can be historical figures. They can be literally anyone that you'd be like, man, it'd be really cool if I could talk to that person every day. And then write down what qualities those people have and figure out, what it is that you find attractive about these people. Okay. Next up, once you have these 2 lists, is to actively seek out interactions with people who have the qualities that are on your list. It doesn't necessarily have to be these specific people you said, but people who, have those qualities to them. But do it within reason. Don't just try to message them and hope that they'll respond. You have to respect people's time and people's boundaries and the fact that people are busy and may not have as much free time as you do. So you got to be strategic about this. It's a process. So let's say you want to interact with these kind of people, but you see yourself as being very different from them. The step that you would want to take is to actively seek out to develop those qualities that you have identified within yourself. So you take your list of the qualities that you have, these people that you're like, man, like that's really cool. I wish I had that. And then find activities that will help you actively develop those qualities. Now, if you want to make this kind of an interactive thing, if you guys write down in the comments, what some qualities are that you think would be really cool, I may be able to get some of the psychological specialists, the psychologist people to come in and respond with comments with, possible exercises that you could do or activities you could engage in to develop those qualities. I mean, why not, right? Because we're all capable of becoming whoever we want, so long as we're willing to be patient with it and work through the process. And we will naturally attract those who are similar to us. So as we become like the people that we want to be with, those people will naturally want to be with us. So it's very simple. And by making this a priority, you will notice that the quality of your friendships slowly increases, and so too does the quality of your interactions. If you stick with it for a long enough time, you could end up being in the position that I was in this summer, being with your favorite people all the time, growing together and making great, great memories. It's just awesome. So I just want to close out this video by saying thank you. Thank you to everyone who was a part of it this summer. 2015, an incredible run at the World Series of Poker. So much more to share. It's coming soon to a video near you. And I can't wait for the next team get together. Hey, hopefully you could be a part of it.